Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Sanchauskas. Today is the 2nd of October 2018, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments. And as always, before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay guys, so let's have a look at the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on is the DAX. Now the DAX here, well, this is what I was talking about in a few of my previous videos where I was covering DAX actually, and I was talking about this little range here that we had the index sitting in between the 12,325 on the downside, and on the upside here we had the 12,460 approximately there, of course. So the index managed to break that to the downside on Friday last week, but as you can see, yesterday's trading it didn't kind of get this follow through in the same direction. On the other hand, we still we had this rebound nicely from this I would call it medium-term upside support line taken from the 26th of March. Now, as you can see, it rebounded nicely back to the upside here, and actually kind of slightly got back into this little range that I was talking about. So for now, we're going to be very cautious on this one. As you can see, of course, like I said, we did get this nice rebound here to the upside from this upside support line. Certainly we could see if a continuation here to the upside until we reach this 12,460 level. Could potentially do that, but to be honest, for us to kind of get comfortable with the upside from the slightly more maybe near term, we would need to see a nice good close here above this 12,460, and this way we could then aim for the this level right here around the 12,585, marked by near the highs here of the 28th of August. But if that doesn't hold, well, it could actually make its way all the way here towards the 12,700, where it could also meet this kind of more of a longer term downside resistance line taken from the peak of the 23rd of January. So good potential area for resistance, of course, and like I said, that's around the 12,700. But if that actually breaks, I mean, if we get a close above this level, then yep, we could continue traveling further. But to be honest, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much, and let's see actually what it wants to do initially with this level right here, the 12,460. Certainly, like I said, we will consider that only if we get a follow through today. We see the yesterday's high getting broken, and like I said, this way we could start aiming for the 12,460. Now, the yesterday's high was seen yesterday around the 12,375 mark, something like that. So keep your eyes on that one. If suddenly this reverses and moves below this upside support line that I was talking about, now this could be a worry sign for the bulls, as we could see maybe this one more bears starting to jump in here and trying to push the index back down towards some key areas of support here. One of them could be the 12,100, or even going back down here towards the psychological 12,000 level. So of course, keep your eyes on that one. Keep your eyes on this upside support line. But again, like I said, a good close below the 12,250 could indicate that this index would like to actually travel to the downside for now. Let's have a look at gold. Now, gold is one of the interesting ones here, especially lately. As you can see, last Thursday, we had this nice drop to the downside, but actually we never kind of broke the, well, we never closed below the 1183 zone. Now this was quite an important one that I was watching here, and the 1183 kind of continued to hold, and as you can see on Friday we had a reversal back to the upside here where it kind of got stuck around the 1190 level. So and yesterday's, of course, activity, initially it seemed that maybe it actually wants to continue dropping further to the downside, but the bulls kind of picked up on that quickly and pushed the commodity quickly back up here towards the 1190, and now we're seeing this this kind of bullish, somewhat bullish activity here today. And of course, if that just continues traveling higher, we're going to end up moving towards the 21 EMA here, shown as the yellow line, as you can see here. Kind of maybe not very clear, but nevertheless we do have that one here, the 21 EMA, and that's around the 1197. But of course, this could be just a temporary stopping point, just like or orientation mark, but the next potential good area of resistance to keep an eye on would be the 1207, and above that we do have this downside resistance line taken from the peak of the 11th of April, which could also prove itself to be quite an important area, or should I say it's a resistance area again. But for, let's say, from the longer term perspective, if you want to get bullish on this one, well, you would need to probably wait and see until we get not only a close above this downside resistance line, but also a few of these key resistance areas around the 1215 or even the 1218. So certainly probably in the first level to watch above that would be the 1215. So if we do get a nice close above that, this could potentially invite more bulls to the table, and we could see continuation here to the upside and maybe towards the 1235 or even higher. So of course, for now, just be very careful. Like I said, at the moment, judging by this daily candle right now, it seems that it wants to turn bullish, but the day has just started, and let's see how this goes on today. So for now, of course, keep your eyes on this, on the 1190. If suddenly this reverses, for us to kind of get comfortable with the downside, we would need to see a good close below the 1183, and this way we could start aiming for levels like 1172 approximately there, or even actually the lows that we saw here around the 16th of August, and that's 1160. But for now, this is kind of slightly off the table, I would say. At the moment, it's just kind of looking more bullish than bearish. Let's jump into a few pairs. So GBPUSD continues to move south, and as you can see, it's stuck here between these two lines here, between this upside support line taken from the 15th of August and this downside resistance line taken from the 20th of September. Now certainly at the moment the path kind of looks like that it's clear, it's trying to clear its path towards the towards lower levels like the 129.60. Sorry, should I just probably rephrase that? 129.65. Let me just quickly adjust that level. Now this is the one to watch. It was marked here by the low that we saw around the 11th of September. So keep your eyes on the 129.65. Slightly below that, we do have the upside support line that I was talking about. That's taken from the 15th of August, and which also could prove itself to be quite an important support zone. So something basically, let me just draw a few arrows here. Something like this could be possible, guys, where the bulls could start picking up on this area here, and potentially driving the pair back up here for a bit of retracement to the upside. So for now, keep your eyes on this area here. Certainly as well, keep your eyes on these lows, the recent lows that we saw, let's say on last Friday, because a nice good close or a drop below the below the 1.30 level. Now this was the low that we saw around here last week, so a drop below the 130, the psychological 130, could open the path towards this area that I was just talking about, the 129.65. Excuse me. On the upside, well, from the shorter term perspective, I mean, we would need to see a good break here above the 130.55 in order to kind of consider possible move higher, where we could maybe test the downside, the short-term downside resistance line, or even actually break it to the upside. But we would need to see a good close above the 131 level in order to kind of consider further acceleration here to the upside. So, but for now, judging by this picture, how everything is developing, it kind of seems more towards the downside rather than the upside. So keep your eyes on this one, guys. Be very careful and always have your stop loss in place. Let's jump into EURCAD. Now this one is the well, talk about a bearish activity, but since last week, since around the Thursday of last week, we continue moving south here, currently testing this quite important area of support around the that was last seen around the 15th of August. Now this here, as you can see on the 15th, mid-August, it acted as a nice reversal point here for this pair, from which it kind of continued moving higher. So now we can see that, yep, it's testing this area here. The big question here is, are we going to get a break here? Potentially we probably could get a break here, but probably even bigger question that we've got here, are we going to actually get a close here below this level? Now again, be very careful, because if we do get a close, let me just kind of slightly adjust this, if we do get a close below this 147.95 zone, keep your eyes on the next potential area of support at around 146.85. Now this area here was marked by the low that we saw around the 18th of October last year. So basically almost a year ago, we saw this level getting hit, certainly, but we'll consider that level, again, I'll repeat myself, we'll consider that level only if we get a close today below the 147.95. If we don't get a close, now this could be actually a good opportunity for the bulls to kind of jump in here and maybe take advantage of the lower rate and actually push it a bit higher for a bit of retracement, I would say. And of course, the first potential area to watch could be around the let me just kind of adjust this, the 149.10. If this doesn't kind of hold it, if this doesn't hold the pair down, then yep, the next good area for resistance could be around the 149.85. Now this one was marked here by the highs that we saw around the 16th of August and 17th of August, so basically around something in mid-August that we saw here. So again, for now, just be very careful with this 147.95. Let's see how it trades today, and probably, like I said, keep your eyes on today's close, and let's see where it actually closes. And the last pair that I really wanted to touch on, and that's USDJPY. Certainly seeing a bit of bearish activity right now. So it's of course early, still in the morning, but keep your eyes on this level right here around the 113.75 zone. So a nice good break here below this could send this pair towards the next potential area of support here around the 113.40 or even the 113.15. Now certainly we don't forget that we do have this short-term upside support line here. Let me actually jump into the 4-hour chart, and this one let's kind of zoom in a little bit. So there we go. It's probably a better, more clear picture here, and let's slightly adjust these lows here. There we go. Now, like I said, this is the one to kind of watch for now. If, like I said, this continues to drop further, you can see that it's currently, the USDJPY is currently balancing around the 113.75. Now, if this, like I said, gets a breakthrough here, we could potentially see a continuation move to the downside here, where we could aim initially towards the 113.40, or even the, like I said, this upside support line taken from the low of the 6th of September, which could also be a nice potential bouncing ground for USDJPY, and this is where the bulls could try and take advantage of the lower rate and push it back up. But for us to, I would probably say, for us to get comfortable with the downside from the kind of more of a near-term perspective, we would need to see a nice good close here below this upside support line. But to be honest, it would for a better confirmation of the downside, we would need to see a good close below the 113.15. Now this would be approximately here as well, next to the this upside support line, and this way we could aim for levels like 112.60 or even lower, where we could initially aim for this 200 EMA that's approaching kind of that area as well, or even actually further. But for now, again, let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. Let's see how this develops today, how this level here, the 113.75, is it going to hold? If it does, then we could see a reversal straight away here back to the upside. But again, for the upside for us, we would need to in order for us to kind of get comfortable with the upside, we would need to see a nice good break here above the 114.05 mark. Now this was marked here by the recent highs that we saw yesterday, so keep your eyes on that one, guys. Certainly, like I said, at the moment it is what it is. It's kind of trying to sell off a little bit, but again, we do have some good important support zones which could play out, and we could see maybe a potential bounce back to the upside. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to join me later on at my Traders Tea Time, and that's 13:15 GMT, 14:15 British Summer Time. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.